Greetings everyone. Hosting a dinner party can be quite an undertaking, stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Just take some time, plan some things out. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things that I experience when I'm hosting. I'm really trying to step it up and make a wonderful evening that much more special, but also take some of the pressure off myself. One of the first things, if you have time, if your guests aren't coming for a little while or later in the evening, you have a little bit of time there to make sure the night before, run through your ingredients list, make sure you have everything. If not, you can get out in the morning, pick up those last few ingredients or maybe the right wine if that's what you're serving. That's what I had to do. I just got back from the grocery store. One other thing I recommend is if your guests aren't coming for later and you are cooking, don't wear the shirt you're gonna wear in the evening with your guests, because chances are you're gonna dump something on it. Don't risk it. It's very frustrating when that happens. You're like, oh man, I gotta change everything. So not the shirt I'm gonna wear tonight, but because I'm making an Italian dinner tonight, the tomato sauce, that splashes around. Yeah, not gonna take a chance on that. The other thing is your meal of choice. One thing I like to do is make sure I am not preparing something that requires all my attention to be in the kitchen so that I can give my time to my guests. We are gonna have some appetizers planned, a little charcuterie board. What I'm gonna have on here is just some cheeses, maybe some cut veggies, also some exotic things like honey on the comb. We also like to serve a pepper jam over cream cheese, which is really nice. So we're gonna have some time to have some appetizers, just talk, maybe have a few cocktails. I picked a meal that doesn't require my full attention in the kitchen while there's having appetizers and drinks. I can socialize, I can talk. So I'm doing a, what they call Sunday gravy, I guess. Basically a red sauce with a bunch of meats. The meats will be cooking in the sauce, and that just sits and simmers and gets delicious over time. And so I'm gonna get that started and have that just simmering. So when my guests do arrive, that's just sitting on the stove. That's all it has to do. The only thing that I would need to do when it gets close to time to eat is to boil up some pasta and serve. We'll be good to go. So let's get started, show you what I'm doing. One thing I like to do when I get started making something extravagant or something fancy like that, I like to prepare and prep all my ingredients first, get them within hand's reach. The worst thing is when you need to add something to your dish or whatever it is that you're making and you're running around trying to get it, or it says, something like that, you need chopped onion and you haven't chopped it yet. Oh my gosh, and then it's whatever it is, it's on the stove, it's cooking, you're trying to hurry up and chop. That's when accidents can happen. I know a thing about cutting yourself, so don't do that. Get everything prepped, ready. You'll feel a lot better. Things will go a lot smoother. So right now I'm making some meatballs. It calls for some minced garlic, so you can see I'm working with my garlic, getting that all situated. I got my meat here. I'm gonna get ready, put all this stuff in a bowl and start making some meatballs. One thing that always happens, your cutting board can start sliding all over the place. That's dangerous. Don't get frustrated. Know you're in a hurry. Know you want everything to be perfect. Real simple hack here. Move this off to the side. Take a damp paper towel, lay it flat just like that. Put your cutting board right on top. Boom, it's not going anywhere. Get back to cutting, prepping, get to cooking. All right, getting the meatballs all together. This is my little technique. I bounce the meatball back and forth between my hands. Just gets it more round. Place them on the platter. They're gonna get fried up. Everything's coming along nicely. Got the meatballs frying. We're gonna fry these up 5 minutes on each side, if there is a side to a meatball. Basically what you do is you brown them on one half meatball, you flip them over to the unbrowned side for another about 5 minutes or so and get these cooked up. Then we're gonna start the sauce, cook the rest of the meat, get that sauce simmering, put all the meat back in the sauce. It's gonna be delicious. Now that we got the meatballs done, we're gonna start cooking up the rest of the meats that are gonna be part of dinner tonight. This is the pork loin. brown that all around. After that's done, some Italian sausage. Gonna be delicious. All right, the sauce is now simmering. The appetizers are being prepped. My guests are almost here. One thing that I also like to do, got a vintage turntable. I like to have some background music, whether it's, you know, fun like movie show tunes or something that you know they like, or something that complements the theme of the evening. I like to have that on just subtle in the background. The turntable, the record player, nice conversation piece, takes the edge off if you're feeling a little nervous. A lot of times people ask a lot of questions about that, just something kind of cool to have when we get playing some music. The other thing that you can do is have the table preset. It's such an excellent part of your presentation. Your guests walk in, they see the setting, and they're just blown away. I mean, just look at how we've got it. It's fall time, so this really complements everything. Makes a statement. I'm really liking how we have this set up here. Something else you can do to really be the host that stands out amongst the rest. If you are serving alcoholic drinks or adult drinks, don't forget about the kids. There's nothing worse when I was growing up to always feel like left out. My parents would take us over, meaning my siblings, we'd go over to friends' houses or whatever, and nope, that's not for you, or no, you go sit at that other table or the kiddie table. Always felt left out. Be a host that remembers the little ones. Have some mocktails. It could be something as simple as a juice, cranberry juice and Sprite, or club soda, just something to give it a little bit of fizz. Non-alcoholic, of course. Kids are gonna love it. Your guests will too. The guests are here. They're talking. I've been able to entertain and host. I'm boiling up some pasta. Get ready to serve dinner. The pasta is done, everything is on the table, and now my guests have been served their dinner. And I am serving and hosting tonight the ladies of Pourchoices. Here they are. And their men, that's right.
And their men.
All right.
Yeah.
Cheers to everyone. Thank you all for coming.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, so my guests just left. We had a fantastic time. They were amazing guests. I tried to be the best host I can be. Again, picking a meal that needs to just sit on the stovetop and keep cooking while you can entertain and interact with your guests. That's always the best, at least the first time. The next time, maybe you can do something a little more complex, just because they get to know you a little more. They understand what's going on in your home. But for the first time, pick something that doesn't require your full attention. I picked a Sunday gravy that just needs to simmer. That's all it needs to do. So when we were ready to eat, all I had to do was boil up some water and cook some pasta and put everything together. Real easy once I got to that point. They were fantastic guests. I love the ladies of Pourchoices. They brought gifts. They didn't come empty-handed. You can't ask for anything better than that. That just calls for a wonderful evening. I'm the Capable Gentleman, always showing you ways to go from dirty to dapper, to encourage you to never stop learning. And until next time, be kind. See you next week.